Referee Martin Raymondson admonishing Dow Jones. Oh, going for this pump handle side slam.
Dropping him right onto his...
1, 2. Oh, 2 count.
Dow Jones using his advantage of his superior size and dropping him for a higher height, therefore creating more impact on that tiny body of Maverick Mayhew.
Oh! The ring must have moved about 2 inches there.
My goodness. Such velocity that Maverick Mayhew hit the turnbuckle with. Yes. Nicely done, Dow Jones. Dow Jones calls this move the pound stretcher. My goodness. Stretching Maverick Mayhew and rocking him like a toy. Because that's what it is. It's easy for Dow Jones. Oh, into the turnbuckle. Yes. Oh. Dropping him face first like a worthless piece of trash. Yes.
Again, Dow Jones paying too much attention to the crowd here.
It's fine because he's outwitting the stupid child and he's going back to Maverick Mayhew.
Outwitting a child, and that's not a lot to be proud of, being able to outwit a child.
I suppose, but that child has been giving the wrestlers grief all evening, and especially more so to Dow Jones. And firing back Maverick Mayhew.
Oh, big boot by Dow Jones.
His size 12 foot right in that ugly face of Maverick Mayhew.
1, 2, oh. Just kicked out by the count of 2.
Dow Jones needs to keep his composure. I see him gripping his face in anger. He needs to stay calm. He needs to stay... Nicely done.
Dow Jones just toying with Maverick Mayhew now.
Yes, nicely done. And now putting on the patch that he should be wearing. Haha, yes, and so he should. As much as I enjoy the antics of Dow Jones, he needs to keep a level head. Because Maverick Mayhew is so quick, even half a second distracted will cause a shift in momentum. Oh! Right in the throat!
The throat draped across the bottom right there.
Oh. This is a problem. Because of Maverick Mayhew's fast-paced action, you can get very tired very quickly. And if you cause a problem to the throat and his breathing, it very much slows Maverick down. Forcing him to run even more. Oh!
Big side slam.
Driving the wind even more out of Maverick Mayhew's body.
Oh! Side slam gets a 2.
Dow Jones, you need to keep calm. Don't let your attention slip for even a second. We saw earlier tonight how Brandon Croft lost because he got angry. I don't want the same to happen to Dow Jones. Oh no! Reverse!
Oh! Well hit DDT.
My goodness! See, unfortunately, that's what I was worried about, is half a second of distraction, and Maverick Mayhew can easily switch the... switch? I'm sorry. Switch the switch. See, I'm getting angry now as well. This is causing me the problem.
Did the quintessential intellectual get tongue-tied?
I'm sorry, I'm just angry how this child thinks he can fight Dow Jones. A down!
Oh, back elbow.
Maverick Mayhew building up momentum, switching it. DDT on the head once more.
Nails him into the cover.
Count down.
1, 2.
Count.
Oh, 2 count. Oh, I don't know how he kicked out of that one.
Maverick Mayhew getting this idiotic crowd of Teynham behind him, almost building up his energy for one final move. He's going for the kick. Caught by Dow Jones. Haha, very clever.
Oh!
No!
Enziguri.
Goodness sake. No! Don't finish him, you pipsqueak. What is this? A submission hold?
Going for here.
It's unusual for Dow Jones.
Oh, Dow Jones gets the rope.
Yes, very clever. unusual for Maverick Mayhew to resort to submission holds, I find.
That was exactly my thought.
But Dow Jones remaining tangled in the rope. A very smart strategy. If you stay there, you can't be hurt. Oh! And while Maverick Mayhew was distracted. And the credit crunch! Yes, come on, Dow.
That's got to be it. 1, 2, and 3.
Yes!
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the match, Dow Jones.
Dow Jones taking advantage of the rules and the rope break in order to gain the victory. That is what I mean by Dow Jones is a clever man. Something as simple as reversing a submission hold has caused him to be victorious. That is a true genius. And Maverick Mayhew taunting in the face of the child that was insulting him earlier. Almost karma for that idiotic child. And the children trying to assault Dow Jones. Luckily, Dow Jones is such a gentleman that he will not fight back for a small child. Well, I say don't fight back to a small child, but a small child is lying in the ring, half unconscious. Lovely. Yes, nicely done. And Dow Jones retaining his Dow Jones championship in such elegant fashion.
Ladies and gentlemen, show your appreciation for Maverick Mayhew.
Maverick Mayhew outraged with Martin Raymondson that he lost. No, not his top hat, no! No! Oh, the stench. You can't wash the stench of failure out of such elegant clothes. No, don't.
Well, have you heard of finders keepers?
That rule doesn't apply when you're an idiot. Maverick Mayhew can't even get out of the ring wearing it because it's so long on his body.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick 15-minute interval. Make sure you come back to the second half of UKPW.
And the referee walking off with Dow Jones' hat. Disgusting. Wonderful. I'll turn this off for the moment whilst I go talk to Dow Jones for a second, but I shall be back, Mr. Briffett.
And I guess it'll be a pleasure.
It will indeed. I'll bring you some homework when I come back. Lovely.
UKPW Tag Team Champion, Officer Rogers and Steve Manelli.
And now here we see entering the ring the tag team of Officer Rogers and his mentor, Steve Manelli, wearing the I Hate Trash Man t-shirt.
Let's hear it again for Stone Cold Steve Manelli.
Steve Manelli, very much the old-school, no-nonsense professional wrestler who has taken Officer Rogers under his extremely mean wing. And already getting abuse from children. They're looking for a microphone. What is? Finger is belt.
And their opponents.
And as we saw earlier on, this tag team match was made at the request of Sid Manelli and Chris Murphy. So entering the ring is Chris Murphy and Sid Manelli. So welcome back everyone, after our brief interval, welcome back to UKPW Classic here in Teynham. I once again am joined by the wonderful Ross Griffith. Hello sir.
Hello again.
This music is so loud I can't hear myself think.
Neither can I.
They are definitely on. I can hear myself talking. Just extremely loud music. Oh, and Trash Man.
I'm getting eyeballed by Steve.
Sorry, not Trash Man, Sid Manelli. Looking for the microphone.
Right, shut your mouths a minute. Just shut up. This is absurd, referee. It's absurd. How can I be in a tag match when my son's in the opposite corner? Why don't you shut up, because
Steve Manelli insulting the crowd.
It's ridiculous. Look, all you good people who paid money, you don't want to see me wrestling.
Did you get the impression that Steve Manelli's trying to back out of this match?
I think so.
What's it, ref? Come on, what is the point? All I'm going to do, no mind turn the mic off, all I'm going to do is beat the little whippersnapper. No, listen. I'm only concerned because he's got to take the ring down. Now, if I hurt him, he's not going to be able to do it. Are you going to help take the ring down? Well then, shut your mouth.
The Teynham crowd really getting on Steve Manelli.
Crowd here getting on Steve Manelli's case just because he showed some sympathy towards his own son.
CKFC
So here we have in the ring right here, Manelli Jr. versus Manelli Sr. Sid versus his son. Oh, sorry. Steve versus his son, Sid Manelli.
That could be wrong. So Steve Manelli, a second-generation wrestler, been wrestling well over 30 years. So that's one thing that the two youngsters are going to need to be aware of.
But you need to consider that Sid is the son of Steve Manelli. So he not only had his grandfather's knowledge, but he also had Steve knowledge for all of his building life. He was the one coming with Steve to shows. He saw all different wrestlers. He's seen wrestling for his entire life. Although he doesn't hold a candle to his knowledge of Steve, he knows some wrestling.
Sid Manelli. Oh!
And a massive
Hip toss to hip toss to Steve Manelli.
leaving Steve Manelli writhing.
Steve Manelli taking a walk.
And you can see the anger on Steve Manelli's face, possibly even some humiliation by being bested by his son.
That could always backfire, as we know.
Sid needs to, even though Sid is encouraging the fans to get on his side, he needs to be careful not to turn his back to the veteran Steve Manelli.
Oh, Steve Manelli backing him into the corner. Oh, we've seen this. Oh!
Chris Murphy tried to come in to help Sid Manelli, but unfortunately it got the referee's attention, allowing them to be very sneaky behind his back.
Oh, big knee lift by Steve Manelli. And now Officer Rogers choking Sid Manelli in the corner.
You can see the lack of compassion for his son. It shows how sick and twisted this man is. He's willingly letting himself and another man physically abuse his child.
Now, being a 30-year veteran, he's learnt a lot, and obviously he could impart a lot to Sid Manelli.
But also, in perhaps a turn of events, he's brought in Officer Rogers as his, essentially, mentee. He's teaching his knowledge to Officer Rogers instead of Sid Manelli. So there's an added twist into this match, perhaps some sort of hard feelings between Officer Rogers and Sid. Officer Rogers telling the children to shut them out. Oh, up! A massive arm drag.
Big arm drag. The crowd of Teynham fired up.
This is what I've been saying all night about the momentary lapse in concentration.
Chris Murphy tagged in, goes straight after Officer Rogers.
Chris Murphy earlier losing to Officer Rogers in some unfortunate circumstances, being low-blowed behind the referee's back. You can see that, well, you can't see, but obviously Chris Murphy will have some feelings towards Officer Rogers in the angry nature because of the events earlier tonight.
Sid Manelli gets the tag.
Controlling the wrist. Up. Go down. Oh! Maintaining control of the arm there.
The crowd imploring him to break the arm of the Officer Rogers. Oh, big shot to the ribs. Forearm to the face. Oh, big splash into the corner.
We saw earlier that Chris Murphy was very interested in what the crowd thought of him. But now, because of the events earlier tonight, he seems more serious. And he seems to have his game face on. The crowd calling 619, even though the individual is not in the ropes. Strange.
Oh, barely a 2 count.
Simonelli trying to get the crowd onto the side of Chris Murphy. Oh,
big shot to the ribs by Officer Rogers.
Oh.
And then another one. Just really hammering away at those ribs of Chris Murphy.
Oh, goodness. And we saw earlier tonight in the match between Chris Murphy and Officer Rogers, a large portion of the match, Officer Rogers concentrated on his body. Oh, goodness.
Big clothesline by Steve Manelli. Another big knee lift.
Steve Manelli taking advantage of the, did you say 30 years of wrestling experience? My goodness.
Now, compared to Steve Manelli, Chris Murphy's been wrestling for a lot less time.
Yes.
Excuse me as I get tongue-tied.
That's okay, good sir. I got tongue-tied earlier. And once again, Steve Manelli using the referee for the advantage.
Oh, come on. Another low blow.
My goodness. We saw earlier tonight Officer Rogers was able to take the victory because of the low blow. And we just saw it again here. Perhaps a low blow was a tactic Officer Rogers learned from his mentor, Steve Manelli. Oh.
If you can have a mentor, then who better? But the same could be said for Steve Manelli, though. For Sid Manelli.
Manelli using the referee to his advantage once more. At this point, gigantic chop. At this point, you can see the anger on Sid Manelli's face. He can't get in there to help his partner.
Officer Rogers gets the gets the tag.
And almost teasing Sid, making him more angry. Big body slam.
Oh, again. Big leg drop across the neck. Into the cover. 1, 2. Oh, 2 count.
And we're seeing now that that Chris Murphy is getting tired. It is very, very depleting, taking all of this punishment. And coming across his throat with such velocity is only making it harder to catch his breath.
And again, Officer Rogers gets the knee to the gut.
Not letting Chris Murphy get up. Not even giving him a chance to go towards the corner. Let's see, stretching the face off, hooking the nose. Steve Manelli taunting the crowd, saying, this is easy, this is supposed to be a fight.
Steve Manelli gets the tag there from Officer Rogers.
And we can see in the corner where Chris Murphy is, the turnbuckle pad is down. Perhaps a deliberate tactic by the veteran Steve Manelli. This is again genius stuff that he has learned over so many years, wrestling so many clever minds. Taunting him, calling him Paddy.
Another big knee lift
again. Oh, he's turned the turnbuckle pad off again, completely off its hinge. Oh, again. Oh, goodness. And Sid Manelli is itching to get in the ring.